Hello, my name is Mariana Santiago, and welcome to my podcast. Is Mariana Making Sense? You decide. Episode number 6. Let's stop putting tags on people, criticizing and judging. I feel like we automatically go on putting tags on people. And that's something that I said on the podcast about, like, on the ayahuasca. It was a learning for me because sometimes when we put tags on people, we don't know them. Like, we are not letting them show who they are from the start because in our heads, they already have a role to play in our lives. So I think it's important to know that we tend too easily to criticize and judge without actually thinking the big picture. And let's just remember that, like, sometimes criticizing is something that we didn't like, something that goes out of the ordinary of our lives, something that it just seems different. And judging, it's more like, or the way that I see it, it's more that we're sentencing someone to be whatever word we put on them. And I feel like we need to learn, we need to know and understand what is in our head. Why is that thought coming to our minds? Because it comes from within. And is that thought good? Is that thought bad? Like, why are we generating this thought? Why are we generating this criticism towards someone else? And the fact is that sometimes we jump into conclusions so fast. It's crazy. Sometimes we don't even know the entire picture and we're like judging everyone, criticizing everyone on one little thing that we saw of their lives. And one of the examples that I like to think, it's, let's say, couples. There's this couple that goes out everywhere together, and there's this couple that goes out together, but also they go out on their own. Like, these two realities are completely different. And usually, or for what I've seen in my life, I may be wrong, it's that the one that sticks together criticizes the other one. And maybe it's coming because you can't do that or you don't like that. But that's the thing. I feel like we need to understand fully where is that thought coming from, because it's coming from within. It's coming from something that we either are entertaining, we either want or we don't want. And I feel like some also let's take out the couple example, but it's like sometimes we are afraid of doing certain things, and then we see that person doing it, and it's like it could be envy, but we just like go quickly to criticize them. And the fact is that we are scared to death to do what they're doing. And that's a thing that we have to understand. Why are we scared? And let's not criticize. Let's admire that, because they're doing what we can't do. And it happens to all of us. So let's learn how to change that thought of criticizing instantly to admiring instantly and say, oh my God, that person is amazing that can do this and doesn't care what they will think about them. Because I feel like we are, and it's like I said on the first episode of my podcast, when we listen too much to society, we are scared of what they're going to say about us. So we need to learn to do whatever makes us happy. And again, if we see someone that is doing something that we're not capable of, admire them. Let's switch that thought. And like they say, the brain, it's a muscle. We have to train it. This is something that you have to do on a daily basis. It's not something that you wake up one day and say, okay, I'm not going to criticize anymore. No, it doesn't happen like that. Everything that we want in life takes work, needs work, and takes work. So let's not be haters. I feel like sometimes you see haters everywhere, and sometimes they're like so funny. But in my reality, there are two types of haters, and one is the one that is so close into their ideas, so shut down or not believing anything else, that when they see something different from their reality, they go and jump and criticize it. And it's it's fine. I mean, that's a reality. It's okay. But for that hater that it's doing that, that person should also think, is the other person criticizing me because I think different than them? No. And I feel like that's where we need to go. Also, another type of hater, I feel like, from my point of view, honestly, is the one that has definitely too much free time in their hands. They just get home and they're like scrolling on Instagram or whatever, and they're just like criticizing everyone. Like, look at this person on vacation. Look at this person. He's showing her belly. He's showing her boobs. They're showing this. That's what they want to show. That's a reality. Why are we scared of that? Are we scared of doing that? And if you don't like it, it's just not follow it. If there's something, and that is key, if there's something in social media that we don't like, let's just not do it anymore. Let's just not keep going into that pattern of seeing and criticizing constantly. And we, again, can take action on that. And I feel like that goes aligned with the last episode of last week. We can always change our reality. We can change what we follow. We can change what we see. And let's amuse the idea that we can be authentic, that we can be unique. I consider myself someone very, those two words, unique and authentic, but it's because also I don't care what people say about me. I don't pay attention. I don't entertain the criticism that it's said about me. And if it does affect me, then I try to take it lightly and I try to analyze what it's happening, what could I learn from that? But it's not like I go on a ditch and I'm like, oh, crying. No. And I feel like that's also important, how we take criticism from other people. And the fact is that our brain will never stop throwing ideas, different ideas, either good or bad. They will just come and go. And an example of that is that, yes, I've been working on myself. I'm trying to, again, not criticize, not judge, not nothing. And okay, sometimes I see someone that I don't like, that it's someone out of my reality, something different of what I'm used to. And boom, in my head, criticism. And it's like, why? Why? Again, I've been working on myself. I've been trying to not criticize, not to judge, and all of a sudden, boom, this thought comes to my mind. And the fact is that we cannot stop our brain to on like throwing us ideas and throwing our thoughts. And as soon as I identify this, I'm like, okay, I don't want that, thank you, but I don't want it. And I feel like it's very important to learn how to understand this type of thoughts. If a bad thought came into your mind, then let's just appreciate it and say, thank you for showing me what I don't want to think. Thank you for showing me what I don't want in my life. And again, it's a muscle, it's work. We have to wire ourselves in order to make that happen, to not jump into conclusions without knowing anything, without not not criticizing and not judging constantly, but actually admiring. Let's see the life from that point of view, admiration, and we can see so many changes. And I feel like also the reality, it's one thing, that what happens on our thought, it's an entire completely different thing, and we need to know the difference between both of that, like the two of them. And main key message I would say about this podcast is, what are we giving our energy to? What type of thoughts are we entertaining in our heads? Are we entertaining good things, good thoughts, thoughts about growth, thoughts about that will provide us peace and happiness? Or are we entertaining something that it's taking and sucking our energy away, and we just live in this loop of constant criticism or judging? So what is it? What will be your next action? So maybe, I don't know, something that came to my mind, it's like, let's write on a journal every night what did I entertain today, and that way we can realize, because again, sometimes we act without knowing that we're acting in a bad way, and let's learn how to wire ourselves to act from love, to act from admiration. And I feel like we can change many things about us and about the society that we live in. So if you like this episode, if you think it made sense, you want to share it with your friends, your family, people that you don't know. You never know who you can run into and be like, I just heard a podcast, it's amazing. No, I'm just kidding. But again, if you liked it, subscribe. Let's keep in touch. Let's be connected and share it. Share it with people that you want, that you think that can benefit from this. And as they say, sharing is caring. So thank you so much for being here tonight. You know how to follow me or contact me. It's to my Instagram. Ella es Marianita, and I'm open to suggestions, questions, any ideas that you might have. And thank you again for being here. Bye. Mwah.